A lot is said in Greek mythology regarding the struggle for power and control. So during the unprecedented war for supremacy over the universe opposing the Titans and gods of Olympus, Zeus and his fellow Olympians fought the sons of Gaia, but most importantly it was a fight against his father Cronus. Utterly defeated by the gods, most of these Titans were cast to Tartarus to be forever imprisoned while others were doomed to eternal punishment by the new chief of Olympus. Among these was the Titan Atlas, who was condemned by Zeus to support the tremendous weight of heaven for the eternity. After the Olympians defeated the Titans and the Titanomachy, Atlas was responsible for bearing the weight of the bronze dome of heaven on his shoulders, which was a burden given to him as punishment. Contrary to what one would expect from a war opposing father and son, the Titans were being led not by Cronos himself but by the Titan Atlas, so when the war ended, it was Atlas who was made an example of what awaited whoever would try to go against the chief of Olympus. According to ancient Greeks, Atlas stood at the edge of the world in the land of the Hesperides in the extreme west. Then later on the Titan became commonly identified with the Atlas Mountains in northwest Africa and was said by many to be the first king of Mauritania. Many scholars describe him as deadly minded, as a being who knew the depths of all seas and holding the pillars far out in the Atlantic Ocean which keep the earth and heavens apart from one another. Some accounts even have him as the original king of Atlantis, which was an island inundated by the sea when the gods became alarmed of the degenerate behavior of its inhabitants. In visual arts, Atlas is shown as a large, mature and bearded man frequently represented in his now familiar position with his bent back and knees, straining to bear a weight representing the heavens on his shoulders. He was said to have fathered many children, mostly daughters who were nymphs for the majority, and among them were the famous Hesperides, the 7 Pleiades, and even a son, Hyas, who was immortalized in heaven by becoming the constellation Aquarius. The origin of the name Atlas is uncertain, but over the years some scholars took pleasure in translating etymologies of Greek names by combining them with adjectives that explained them. So with a name perhaps conveying the meaning suffering or very enduring, Atlas was the son of the Titan Iapetus and Clemene, a quite powerful Titan belonging to what one would call the second generation of Titans alongside his brothers Monetius, Prometheus and Epimetheus. However, unlike Epimetheus and Prometheus, Atlas sided with the other Titans in their war against the Olympians, supporting Cronos against Zeus and leading them in battle. As a result, when the Titans were defeated, many of them were confined to Tartarus, but Atlas was singled out by Zeus for a special treatment, as he was condemned to stand at the western edge of the earth and to forever carry the sky on his shoulders or the whole universe in some accounts, preventing Uranus from meeting the earth Gaia. Therefore, he was given the epithet Atlas Telamon, which means the enduring Atlas, and became a doublet of Hyas, the embodiment of the celestial axis around which the heavens revolve. Because of his physical connections to heavens, Atlas was said to have superior knowledge of the stars as the father of many constellations, and was also perceived as a source of great wisdom and thus the founder of astronomy. Atlas had an important role in the myth of 2 great heroes, and perhaps the most famous myth involving the Titan was his role in one of the celebrated 12 labors of Hercules. The hero was required to fetch the golden apples growing from the fabled gardens of the Hesperides, which were sacred to the goddess Hera and was guarded by the fearsome 100-headed dragon Ladon. Following the advice of Prometheus, Hercules offered to hold up the heavens in his stead while Atlas would go fetch the apples from his daughters. With the help of Athena, and just like he had promised, the hero took over the burden onto his shoulders for a while, hence giving the Titan a short but welcome time of relief. Upon his return with the golden fruits, Atlas refused to switch places again with Hercules because he was reluctant to reassume the burden of carrying the world. So he attempted to leave the hero into supporting the sky permanently by offering to deliver the apples himself, as anyone who purposely take the burden must carry it forever or until someone else take it away. However, suspecting that the Titan had no intention of returning to his place, Hercules pretended to agree to his offer and managed to trick him into swapping places temporarily so that the hero could rearrange his cloak as padding on his shoulders to more easily bear the tremendous weight. When Atlas set down the apples and get the heavens back upon his shoulders, Hercules was quick to take the golden fruits, then ran away back to Mycenae. According to some versions, Hercules released him from his punishment by building 2 great pillars to hold the sky away from the earth, liberating Atlas as much as he liberated Prometheus from his torment. And from thereforth, the Titan was required to merely guard these pillars that henceforward bore the weight of the sky. In the Hellenistic and later tradition, Perseus was said to have brought the Atlas Mountains into being as he was passing through North Africa with the severed head of Medusa. It was here that in punishment for his gross lack of hospitality, the Titan was transformed into a huge range of mountain by Perseus, who displayed the head of Medusa when being refused hospitality on his flight back from his attack on the Gorgons. According to a version telling a tale of Atlas, a Libyan shepherd who encountered Perseus but was changed into stone after trying to block his way, provoking the hero to petrify him by showing him the Gorgon's head. In another account which gives a more detailed version of the incident, combining it with the myth of Hercules, tell the story of a local ruler of exceptional size whose name was Atlas. On his arrival in the kingdom, Perseus asked for shelter to rest for the night in his land, declaring that he was a son of Zeus. But the fearful ruler turned him away with the same result, because he had been warned by a prophecy that a wonderful tree that he owned would be robbed of its golden fruits by a son of Zeus. A prophecy referring of course to the golden apples, which would however be robbed by a different son of Zeus, namely Hercules, and the great-grandson of Perseus. In both cases, Atlas was changed into stone by Perseus during their encounter as a revenge for having been denied hospitality, and became the mountain range in North Africa known by his name. However, there is another version less popular but which makes more sense and suit the story just fine. Based from that account, Atlas was turned into stone because Perseus was moved by his suffering and wanted to release him from the pain of his eternal damnation, an act which many would agree that is more in line with the conduct of a true hero and not that of someone who turns others into stone just because he has been refused hospitality. Father of many constellations and a protagonist in one of Hercules' famous labors, Atlas was also known as a wise man and the founder of astronomy. For some scholars, he was the eponymous first king of Atlantis and also gave his name to a huge mountain range in northern Africa, the Great Atlantic Ocean, and any large collection of maps. A common misconception that many have today is that the Titan was forced to hold the earth on his shoulders, but classical art shows him holding the celestial sphere and not the terrestrial globe. Although the solidity of the marble globe borne by the renowned Farnese Atlas may have aided the merging of the two ideas, which was subsequently reinforced by the developing usage of the term atlas to describe a collection of terrestrial maps since the 16th century in honor of the mythological Titan. If you've enjoyed this video regarding Atlas, which is a classic of Greek mythology, do not forget to leave a comment, give it a like, and consider subscribing for more. And as always, stay curious.